HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Now this is quite a mouthful to say, but quite easy to understand. HTTP was invented at the beginning of the World Wide Web in the early 1990s. It's a protocol or language that allows computers to talk to each other. Many think that HTTP is a hard language to understand, like jordy, but in real terms it's quite simple. Each page is set out like a tree, each branch holding the different lines of information with simple start commands and finish commands, just like a capital letter and full stop. Nowadays, there are many programs that will deal with this for you, as you create web pages using likes of Microsoft Front Page or Web Creator Pro 6. WAP, or Wireless Access Protocol, is really what it says. It is a standard protocol like before with HTTP, a language that is used across the world to let you use your mobile or your iPads without connecting it to a wire. It talks to all the networks like GSM or CDPD and says, "Hey, I want this message to go to this number," or "My user wants to read this page on the internet." The networks understand the request and allows the user to do it by sending it through a wireless router and not a physical landline. GSM was created in 1982 when the group Special Mobile, or the GSM, was created by the European Conference of Postal and Telecommunications Administrations, known as CEPT for short. They wanted a standard way for users to connect and find networks around Europe. GSM, or Global Systems for Mobile Communication, allows a mobile phone to search for the nearest transmitter to communicate with it. This is where you get your phone signal from on your mobile and allows you to communicate with the service providers to make a phone call or send a text. There are other protocols now out there like CDMA, which is GSM's bigger rival. Both can do nearly the same actions like transfer data, but CDMA has the ability to send larger data a lot quicker than GSM. GSM's greatest point is that it has a wider roaming range, which means it gets better coverage and a stronger signal in rural areas. Another player in this market was Edge, which was used across Ireland and parts of Europe. 3G is the next step up from GSM. Both can send text and make calls, but 3G allows the user to do more. It can communicate and use its language better to get the carriers and networks to send and receive photos, sound, and even surf the net. Once it was created and approved to be used as the third generation in communicating on mobile devices by the ITU, or the International Telecommunications Union, it allowed the network operators to offer more apps and services that the old second generation, or GSM, was not capable of communicating. This service also brought in the creation of smartphones and tablets that could be portable, fast, and do the jobs of a home computer, working wirelessly at around 384 kbps. A step up from 3G is the easily named 4G, known as the LTE protocol, or long-term evolution. This was first introduced into Britain in October 2010. It still does the same functions as 3G and GMS, around 5 times faster, allowing downloading and streaming to be almost instant. This means that providers can once again offer more services and better broadband coverage. It has competition from Wilmax that was first to invent it in 2006 by the South Koreans. Then it moved into the USA in 2008. But after lots of discussion and trials, 4G was granted. All new smartphones have the ability to use 4G, which in the future will make 3G a thing of the past, transferring data wirelessly at around 100 Mbps. General Packet Radio Service, or GPRS, is known as the in-between protocol, as it sits somewhere between 2G and 3G. It extended the capability of GSM and allowed users to use multimedia services, but at a very small rate, around 56 to 114 kbit a second, which is the same as a 90s dial-up modem. But without this technology, we would not have been able to take that next jump in generational technology, making the likes of Edge and CDMA almost a thing of the past, as 3G and 4G take over the mobile communication markets. Bluetooth is a long-servicing protocol and has yet to be replaced or really up-branded. It's known as the digital handshake, as it's personal in its format. It was first developed to allow other Bluetooth phones to connect with each other for transfer data like music, pictures, and notes between friends. Today, it has developed into the standard protocol for connecting devices like keyboards, hands-free kits, and other devices to connect your computer or mobile device. Bluetooth was created in 1994 by Ericsson as a short-range communication connector. Broadband is a fast way of passing information from the internet to your computer. This makes watching videos or listening to music much easier than the dial-up modem. The difference between broadband and dial-up being that the broadband is constantly connected to the internet, where a modem will only connect when you command it to do something. There are 4 main different types of broadband. DSL, or digital subscription line, which uses unused telephone wires in your home system to bring the broadband into your house without disrupting your telephone. Cable, this is the most common broadband used by providers like Virgin, which run underground straight into your property from broadband connection boxes within the street. Fibre optic is the fastest form of broadband. As it says, it brings the signal along fibre optic cables to the user. This service is just starting to replace normal cable and may not be available in some parts of the world, but it is set to be the standard way of delivering broadband across the world in the future. And last is the slowest broadband out at the moment, satellite. It is mainly used for rural areas of the world where there are no telephone lines. It is a good replacement to dial-up, but being slow gives it better broadband width, which allows your computer to do more tasks at once without disruption. The price is a little higher, but this is down to the technology used to get it to the user. Voice over the Internet Protocol is a form of phone service that takes the analog signal and turns it into the digital signal that can be sent to any computer on the net, which then turns it back into a sound wave. This does make phone call charges lower, but also it does not give the user access to some services like 118 or 999 at the moment. This means that you can carry your VoIP phone anywhere by just plugging it into the internet. This is demonstrated simply by having a go at calling someone on Skype by connecting your computer to a microphone and a web camera, then chatting to someone also on Skype. Now let's have a look at the methods and the way we use these signals. Forums. An internet forum is a discussion area on the internet where people can read, respond and post topical issues, which makes it a bit like an online virtual community, which we will cover later. Members can join or create their own forum on any topic. This is also known as a message board. There are many different forums out there, like business and marketplace forums, to the home and garden forum, and even the internet forum. These were big when computers first became widely available in the late 1990s, early 2000s, and are still going with a little bit of an uprise of late due to tablets and smartphones. Weblogs. Weblogs are kinds of a log of your life put out there for people to read, or an information station. It's a website protocol that posts in chronological order posts like events, thoughts and opinions, like the Trasor forum that mainly talks about being a teenager, or the weblog.org.uk site that gives users a wide range of posts to read from government to history. Normal weblogs are run by providers that will charge you for the internet space, or you can use it for free and the provider will charge companies to advertise on these sites. Wikis. Wikis is a piece of server software that allows the user to edit dedicated website to amend, correct and sometimes mess around with the information given on the web page. The best way to understand this is Wikipedia. It is a worldwide database that has been created by users across the net. They input the information and other users come along and add to it or change it to points that people may have got wrong. This way, the users can pass on information around the internet in a combined way. But these sites are also not to be trusted for its informational trueness. Email. Known as electronic mail by using a send and receive protocol, it is possible to send all sorts of information in a package that will interact with many different email services. Basically, what this means is that it allows the user to send a message using, let's say, Hotmail. When it arrives at the email address you sent it to, this may be a Yahoo account. These two different email providers use the protocol or program which allows these two providers to understand each other so that the message can be read. All modern laptops, smartphones and computers now all come preloaded with email software. IM is better known as instant messaging. This is very much like sending a text on a phone. They are a real-time message that can be sent by using a number of online services. Workforces use this system to keep everyone up to date. Normally, you can only IM to and for the same providers. So let's say MSN Messenger. A user would set up an account, invite people who also have an MSN account, and then they would be able to message each other. You can find these users a lot on the likes of Workforce laptops like the AA, where a call out can be passed to the driver's laptop with the information and job instantly. IM is still used today and installed on computers, tablets and some smartphones. SMS or short message service is the posh world of text, which is known as the number one way in the world that people communicate with each other. It allows the user to send written and numerical messages to and from mobile phone. The reason it is so widespread in its usage is because of the cost effectiveness compared to using airtime and making a phone call. All smartphones have the capacity to send and receive SMS messages. MMS, Multimedia Messaging Service, is very much like SMS. It allows the user to send messages to and from each other. But where SMS is just words and numbers, MMS allows the user to send photos and audio as well. The price is higher than the normal SMS. The downside to this is that some providers struggle sending these types of messages to other providers, like Orange having trouble sending MMS messages to Virgin. The photo or audio is sometimes left off the message or has to be downloaded from the provider's website, which may cost you more money. This comes mainly on new phones, as the older phones do not have the ability to use this protocol. Video conferencing is a protocol that allows integrated video and audio live contents to be received and sent from anywhere in the world. Basically, when you use video conferencing, you are normally sat at your computer with a web camera and microphone attached. You dial up and connect with 2 or more people at once. On screen, you will see all the people you are talking to, and they can see you and everyone else as well. This style of communication is normally used within the business world, like Nissan, that has people running the business in Sunderland, but also bosses who report to in Tokyo. This allows them to have meetings without having to travel. Virtual community. A VC is a community of people sharing common interests, ideas and feelings over the internet. The first VC was The Well, invented by Howard Rheingold. He described it as a public discussion long enough and with sufficient human feeling to form webs of personal relationships in cyberspace. Basically, it is a website like a forum, but instead of changing the topic, the VC stays with the topic like love or life or friendship, etc. They build it up over years and have people chat and enter into the online relationships with people, almost like living a new life on the web. These can run on any computers, tablets or smartphones. And finally, VLEs. VLEs are virtual learning environments, websites that contain educational information that is presented in a learning style. This means that, let's say you go onto the mathletics.co.uk, a learning environment that is a site that many schools use to help students with their maths. Each student will have a password and username to log into the environment. Once they are in, they can do a number of tasks like solve problems, have competitions by answering questions against other users that are in the environment, and more. All this is to make learning more fun, game credits. These credits give the user the ability to buy clothes, etc. for their online profiles, backdrops, and more. The more credits the user has, the more things they can buy. These VLEs come in many different formats. Many you have to sign up for and pay for, others may be free but contain advertising. This type of learning is being pushed as the next generation in learning for all and can be accessed from a PC, tablet or smartphone.